الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. السلام عليكم. How you all doing? Alhamdulillah. Welcome to our series on how to connect with the Quran. It is the book of Allah. It is divine speech. But unfortunately, most of us are not connected to it, especially now that we have left Ramadan. So today is the fourth lectures, and what we covered so far is I share with you some of the stories from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from his companion, from the Tabi'een, and all the generation after that, and how they were connected to the Quran. And I share with you some of those amazing stories that how the Quran actually shakes their hearts. How Quran actually were the main and the reason why some of them enter Islam. So today, bi'idhnillah, we're going to continue our series. Let me just check this. So we stopped last week and the tip of the last week. So the tip that I shared with you last week, it's that in order to connect with the Quran, I've left you with two tips. The first one, you have to approach Quran with sincerity and humility. Okay. In technology. Sorry. Thank you. And I said, this is the reason what differentiates Abu Bakr and Abu Jahl, if you remember last week, right? I said, and I asked the question, does Quran affect everyone, change everyone? And all of you said yes. And I said no, because Abu Jahl didn't enter Islam, even though he understands Quran better than you and I. And the reason why he did fail to enter Islam, because of his arrogance. He doesn't have that humility, he doesn't have that sincerity. Where Abu Bakr, radiallahu anh, he has sincerity, he has the humility, right? And he was Siddiq. And then I said, the next thing, none of us can actually connect with the Quran except by tawfiq with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I said, make sure you do every night, every day, dua. Ask Allah to connect us with the Quran. It's a very important, ya ikhwani. Okay. So, I'm going to start with one analogy before I dive here. Now, every person, most of us go see a doctor at some point, right? So there are three elements for when you go visit a doctor. There are three elements. The first one, right, it's medication. So you need medication, you need a patient, and you need something else, which is what? The instruction how to use medication. So the first thing, you need patient, medication, and then instruction how to use medication. Three things. I'm going to tell you because I needed to get this concept before I dive into how this essential step to connect to the Quran. Subhanallah, his name Father Sulaiman, one of the great scholars in Quran, Tadabbur. He's Egyptian, he lives in the UK. So I want you to remember this is a hilarious story. So the person lives in Egypt and he's Bedouin, right? He had an ear infection. So he went to the doctor and the doctor gave him subscription. And he said, here are the pills, take them, once every day. So he came back. Of course, this person, this Bedouin, he thought he's supposed to take those pills, not to eat them, to do something else. I'm going to explain what he was doing with those pills. So he went to the doctor and he said, doctor, I cannot handle this. These pills are killing me. I still have the infection, but I cannot use these pills. Please don't take them back. And he said, what were you doing with the pills? He said, I was putting them in my ear. So he was having a lot of pain. So why am I saying this example? This is exactly what Quran is. Quran is that medication, right? And the person, the patient is the heart, And the method by which you're supposed to use the Quran is the instruction. Same as the instruction how to use medication. The problem that we have in our ummah now, we have two issues. We have Quran, alhamdulillah, the best book. But the problem is, we have issue with the patient or the heart, that's the recipient, and we have the instruction how to use that medication, al-shifa, which is the Quran. The problem is what we have, when we talk about Quran, most people listen to Quran is only when there is someone die, didn't death, right? You guys familiar with that? When you hear Quran, it's like, did someone die? Or you listed in the car, or you listed Ayat Kursi, or you post some beautiful ayah in the wall without even understanding what the ayah means. It's beautiful decoration. And that's the sadness about the Quran, our connection. I'm going to start first. I'm going to explain to you this. So the first thing, there are three elements. Three elements essential for tadabbur. And this is from the book Mafatih Tadabbur Quran. The first one is the Quran itself. It's called influencer, al-mu'athir. Then you have the heart, which is al-mu'athir. It's al-maf'ul. Al-mu'athir, al-mu'athar. Okay? And the third level, or the third criteria, is al-muwassal, which is the connection means, which in this case we're going to call it tadabbur. And I'm going to explain what tadabbur means. So I was talking about the medication and the doctor and the patient, how that patient was using a medication incorrectly. He failed number 3. He was not using the correct instruction. It's the same with Quran. We're not using Quran correctly. That's what we fail. We fail on number 3. Number 2 is also failing because our heart is not ready to receive the Quran. The heart is not ready to receive the Quran. The heart has to be ready. And I'll explain in a minute why is that. So tadabbur, what is tadabbur means? A tadabbur means the word dubur. That means behind something. That's what literally dubur. That means look at what's behind the word, behind the verse, behind passage. What is Allah is telling us? Don't read. Don't try to rush just to finish the verse. Ask, what did Allah want me to do? What is behind this verse? And ask. And it takes many, many months and sometimes days, sometimes many hours. It's exhaustive, but you need to use your mind and be patient because this is Kalam Allah. And I said this example before. It's just like having a best friend, right? If you have a best friend, they're not going to open up to you. They're not going to give you their secret. It takes so many hours of conversation before they open up to you. That's why Quran, one of its name, Al-Aziz, is not going to open up to you. It takes a lot of effort from all of us for the Quran to give you that secret. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. I want you to just read this verse for a little bit, and then we're going to dive what that means. If you notice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayk, a book we have revealed to you, Mubarak, a blessed book. And then there is li, that lam, la, in red. Have you noticed the Arabic lam? Li yadabbaru. A lam, it's called lam al-ta'leel. This is the reason why Quran was revealed to you. Not to run, trying to recite it and rush, or just to memorize it, or to be hafid. No. لِيَدَّبَّرُوا, so you can reflect on it. وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. Imam Sa'di explained this. He said, the book was revealed to us so we can reflect on it. What does that mean, reflect on it? That means look for asrar, wal-ilm. You should know what the meaning. You should ask what the secret behind the verse. What is this telling us, right? And that's what really tadabbur. Tadabbur is to understand what's behind that verse and that ayah. What is Allah is telling me to do? And then we said, وَلِيَذَّكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. Who's the albab? Albab is al-uqul al-salihah, al-salima. the sound mind. Because those sound mind is the one who use their mind correctly, trying to extract this what's behind the verses. They are the one who doing tadabbur, right? Tadabbur. And they constantly looking for what is going on behind this verse. I'll share with you my secret. There is a verse, which I'll do that next week, inshallah. There's a verse in Surah Al-Qasas. And I am not bragging. I'm the worst person among you. Wallahi, I'm telling you. I'm not. But it took me so many months to figure out what this verse is. Because there is a changes of the word, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed it. But I'm going to give you the example tomorrow. Next week. So the point is, Ya Akhwani, كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آيات وليتذكر أولو الألباب. That is the purpose of why it's tadabbur. That's why we teach tadabbur. The next verse, أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. Do they not deeply ponder over the Quran, or their heart is locked? And this is what I was telling you earlier, that three elements, right? There is Quran, the influencer, then there is the influenced, that's the heart, and then there is tadabbur. I said there are two elements that we have trouble with. The second one is the heart. This is the one he's talking about here. The heart is locked. Their heart is locked. You can't, there are people, you read Quran and they're like, it's like listening to Chinese. Their heart doesn't move, man, doesn't shake. They never cry, they never weep. The Quran does not do anything to them, subhanAllah, because of their sin, because of the attachment to this word and so forth. And that's why this ayah is telling you there are people who their heart locked. Right? So that's number 2 issue. Number 3 issue that we discussed in the previous slide, which is the method by which we connect the Quran. So, inshallah, I'm going to stop here because I've already gone 12 minutes. So far what we discussed, how Sahaba and Tabi'een, how they were impacted by Quran, how many of them entered Islam, how many of them changed their entire life in a moment by just listening to one verse, like Umar ibn Khattab, like, Fadil ibn Iyad, these many people that I discussed with you guys. And then I said there are many asbab last week, if you remember, asbab tadabbur. Why are we lacking this connection? One of them I said is what? Al-ghafla and distraction. Al-ghafla and the heedlessness, distraction. What I mean by distraction, this guy here. This is one of the main cause, social media and being connected. That's what keeps us from connecting the Quran. The other causes is hubb ad-dunya, the attachment to dunya, the sinning, the haram, and so forth. And I don't want to even talk about the Arabic, because right now I'm making this class very simple for Arab and non-Arab. We haven't got to the next level. You can really reach tadabbur by just following the English translation, and I'll show you how to do it, and you can still reach some tadabbur, and so you can reflect. But the next level, when we get, inshallah, later on, we're going to go about Arabic and balagha and all that stuff. But that's not for the average. It's only 15% who are Arab who can understand balagha. But I'm going to try to give you a recipe how to reach tadabbur, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم جزاكم الله خير سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك